I better turn my mute off. Well, welcome everybody. Let's see. Make sure that everything's working. Unmute myself. Okay. All right. Well, we got Casey and Frankie and Ashley here, and they're on their way to Taos, New Mexico. But Ashley will be here next week, and Frankie's going with them. He's going to have a good time, right? I'm so grateful for their help making these things possible, and look forward to seeing you next week. It's recorded, so you get to watch it if you want to. And
Bye, Patrick.
let's see, where do I find who's waiting?
It'll pop up.
It'll pop up. Okay.
All right. See you next week.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
Love you too.
All right, buddy. My buddy Casey. All right. Hope for the future. Well, I got a lesson on how to do this thing and use some tools. I'm old and I'm a slow learner. I'm like becoming more turtle than rabbit. I like to slow down to the speed of life. We're in the time of the green man. That's why I tried to wear green today. We're on a waning full moon. I was up in my hot tub this morning about 4, and I always like to watch the moon rise. And it's in the west out here. The moon comes up this time of year. Watching the sunset tonight was so beautiful. But being connected to nature and not being so much in a box or behind a screen. So I'm grateful my sweet wife is here, and she's the most amazing creator I've ever seen. She's an inspiration to me, and I'm so grateful for her coming here and, my gosh, helping her. And this is our February. I usually start off with gratitude. Like, I couldn't find my books, but in recovery, if this class is called 12 Steps in the Red Road. I was just telling Ashley, this is helping me out. The only step you can do perfectly is step 1, which is I'm powerless over alcohol, and that my life is unmanageable. So that's deflating the ego enough to where what's real can show up. Like children do that easy, like I'm scared. Just talking to Casey about that. Becoming childlike rather than childish. So one of the gifts of the East, which this is the direction we're in now, is beginning. How to begin again. It's like the morning. So the spring is the morning time. And that noon is from spring to summer. We have to go through the east, from the air to the fire. The air being the north, the fire being the east, the earth being the south, and the waters to the west. So the way I'm looking north now. I've got the bearings in my house aligned to the 4 directions. And the drums I would put down in the south that's Mama, Mother Earth, the egg, the circle, and the 5 sacred symbols that we teach. And all native artwork is you find these symbols, and that's the square, the circle, the triangle, the cross, and the spiral. And what I do in my classes where there's actually people showing up and it's not on Hollywood Squares or Zoom, I would have draw a picture or rank those 5 symbols in terms of which one you prefer most and least. Like the circle, the square, the triangle, the cross, and the spiral. And this is some teachings I've received from 85 years on the planet. I just found out today that my brother is probably going into hospice. He's 87, 2 years older than me. My full Scorpio brother that I love very dearly. I talk to him a lot. He remembers everything about the past, but he has a lot of trouble with the present. And I know becoming an elder is taking care of myself. So we take loving care of what we hold as sacred. And when we hold ourselves sacred, we tend and there's a time to plant, a time to ripen, a time to harvest, and a time to share and be with friends. And the winter, we just passed Christmas. We're moving into February, which is when I was conceived. I'm a Scorpio baby, so February is the heart. This is when Mandy and I were married on Valentine's Day. And February is about love. It's about loving the heart. That's deer medicine. So making deer drums and making deer rattles and making product. That's a little work, a little play, a little love, and a little support. Loving is caring, giving your tending to those things that you hold sacred, starting with me. And I don't see anybody waiting here. Let's see. No, I'm the only one here, so I'll keep carrying on until I get tired. I think this is great practice. I remember watching a program, Painting with John. It was on HBO or one of those programs. This guy just turned the camera on and started talking, and whatever he said was, and he was painting art as he was talking, and it was all improv. And I've always loved improv, living my life as improv, which means not everything is rehearsed. You have to have some magic, and that's your left side. So the magical is the raven. The logical is more the crow. So we've been besieged with crows in the neighborhood. They come up and sit on the line, and a murder of crows, crow feathers. Mandy can take a walk down the street and find 6 crow feathers. And I'm more male, which means give me a target and I'm going to go there as fast as I can. So I'm learning how to slow down. Slow down to the speed of life, like they do down south where my mother was crossed over in South Carolina. Santee, South Carolina, on a golf course with my stepdad and his 2 daughters. And I've got a lot of things to share of my past, and I think telling our stories is so important, because you never know who you're going to touch if you just do improv, which means living your life as improv. But I have 4 things that I say: a little work, a little play, a little support, and a little magic, a little space, like to play with Mandy, who's amazing, the best ping pong player I've come along with. We use both sides, and I've never known her, and all the time I've known Mandy, I've never seen her sick. And I want her to be with me, but she goes upstairs, but that's okay. Gratitude is, I usually start my days all looking for my book. I've got 2 or 3 copies of it. It's called Living in Gratitude. And in recovery, in 12-step recovery, they say develop an attitude of gratitude, because there's always things to look at that aren't maybe going as well as could be. That's life. It's got it's a dare to be average. It's another AA average adage, is seek the middle. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Keep level. Keep like ISIS, the scales. Keep things balanced. And I was a therapist, a stockbroker like Bill Wilson, and I lost everything I had and bounced around the bottom doing manual labor, finishing the Pioneer Courthouse up on scaffolding, and I had a hard time with alcohol, and I came out to Oregon in 1971 as a geographical cure from my drinking, and I had my last drink in Huntington, West Virginia, and that's where I got sober. And I'm grateful that I did get sober there, because that's just exactly where I'm supposed to be. Creator puts us exactly where we're supposed to be if we follow those 12 steps. And the 12 steps have guided my life. They're things to strive for. And in recovery, it talks about how it works. It doesn't talk much about why. Let me explain. Explanations are defense mechanisms. So they say learn paradox. In recovery, we have to surrender the false pride, the parts of us, the facade, the face we put to the world, and shift into what's real. What's real? I'm scared. I'm happy. I'm angry. I'm horny. Whatever your feelings are. And as a male, if I'm too left brain, then it's just dream and do. What do you want to do? What's your vision? What do you want to do? So that's yin. That's male. Yang is how do you want to be? not do. So we go from do to be. That's called the do-be brothers. Do be, and then how do you feel about it is in the West. So in the cycle of a day or the cycle of a breath, there's a beginning. I take in, I hold some for myself, and I spread it out. That's a 4-7-8 breath. So the breath is thank you for the breath of life. One of the things I asked Ashley to do was to show me how to get to here it is, okay. So click on photos, click on photos again. Let's see if it'll come up and share. Here we go. Okay, this is the Inca medicine wheel. It's 12. It's 12 levels, and it seems like a lot of my family have crossed over this year or last year. In 2025, I've lost my youngest brother and one of my first cousins that I moved out here to work in the family business and with Butch and John, and John's crossed over, and my youngest brother Matt, and of course he had 2 sisters that's already crossed over, and that leaves Mike, who I just found out today might be going into hospice because he's I'd say preparing to go to the other side. It's like if you've lived a good life, crossing over is pretty simple. We do it every night. We die. A lot of the indigenous people say the real time is the dream time. But I love this 12 steps, which starts with love. At the top is we're spiritual beings in a body, and when you're looking at the physical, it's not near what the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual bodies are. So there's 4 levels. There's the air, which is the north, which is the what's ahead of me, what's above me. There's the south, which is what's behind me and what's below me and what's to my left. The male is what's ahead of me, what's above me, and what's to my right. So as we walk around the 4 seasons, like we're moving into February, which is Groundhog's Day, and we'll be going into March, which is the Irish, the clover, the green, the color green, the green man. Like I wore green tonight, because I think of the green man and the flute player and Coco Pelli and all the rites of spring, which is the mating season. So we begin and we come together in spirit. So we're in who knows about the realms, but I've learned a whole lot, and I love this one because it has a descent. The hummingbird is in the north, and I have hummingbirds coming every morning when I'm in my hot tub. I'm an early riser and an early to bed, early to rise, just like my grandpa. And I'm learning to slow down and not rush, and having that place out in Carson, Washington, in nature with a creek running right on the water. And I bought that and I've been working with some attorneys and to setting up a nonprofit and using my skills that I've learned through fundraising for years, raising money for nonprofits. Maybe try to set some up that unite or create a model that can be duplicated other places of how to work with your hands, your head, your magic and your logic, and the legs, which are how do you feel supported. That's the south. So my room is arranged to the 4 directions. This house, it faces the south, and to the east is where we are now. We're in the east direction, and that would be the green part of this Chicana down here. So the descent, the way down, is love, trust, connection. Love, trust, connection. Trust is the water. So without trust, relationships don't work. So jealousy, possessiveness, all those things are lack of trust. I don't trust myself. So forgiving ourselves as part of this 12 steps means to trust our own intuition, and even developing that intuition, which is in our gut. It's we will intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. That's one of the promises of AA. We will intuitively know. Where do you know things? Is it in your head, or is it in your heart, or is it in your gut? Well, I always say the East is about the chi, or the key, or some of the movements like Casey and Ashley were just left with Frankie, their little boy. They came and helped me set this up so I could show you this Chicana. Don't have to, but I love this 12 steps. It's like love, trust. It's a love is find something you love to do, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you're working for, it's different than working with. So I had to learn in recovery that I can be just as committed to people's progress as they are, but codependence is defined as putting other people's needs above your own. So learn how to take care of myself. And I fixed some good old buffalo pasta sauce and chicken soup. So in the winter time, when it's cold, like February and January, February, March, sometimes is, according to the groundhog, that we're going to get 6 more weeks of winter. So that'll be into March, and we're moving towards the spring equinox. So we go from the winter solstice to the spring equinox, which is Easter, which is a rabbit, which is the Easter bunny, the eggs, coloring eggs, and all the. But in pagan ways, it's the green man, it's the maypole, it's and then the Chicana, which is the Incan, which is Pachamama, which is South America, Peru, Venezuela, all the places you're hearing about on the news if you watch it. I take little doses of news, because what's news is what you're focused on, and if I'm looking at the screen all day, that kind of pulls my light. So I like making drums, and I repaired a drum today, But anyway, let me go around this Chicana while I've got it up here. So love, trust, connection is the first 3 steps. Acknowledgement, which means, it reminds me of Martin Buber's I and Thou. Acknowledgement. Protection, which means there's a lot of scams out there. If you get on the computer, it's full of trickery, and everybody wants to give you money and wants your information. It's so I spend the minimum time, but I have a business, so I have to get on the computer because I have to. I don't have to do a damn thing except die and pay taxes. That's what my dad used to say. But anyway, we've got acknowledgement, protection. I learned 2 years study up at Y East with some native people, both men and women, how to build an altar. And down in the south is your personal altar. Up the north is the dream. So whatever you want to bring into fruition, like if you want to grow potatoes, you have to plant the seeds. You just can't go to the store and buy them all the time if you're in the city. But if you're in the country, you have to learn how to be with the land, and that's mother, and learn the natural things. And I remember when I bought that property out there in Carson, Washington. I've had it since 2003. Pretty long time. When my daughter was in her mother's belly is when I bought that land. I was married at the time, and have a little girl that's living with her mother, and I've set an intention that I want to live long enough and take care of myself. So it's protection, acknowledging that, left to my own devices, my life is a mess. Awareness. That's, I was hoping if I had a group here, one of the exercises is to throw a ball to you. Not a hard ball, but a soft, maybe a balloon even. And everybody hits a balloon to somebody. And it's like we live on a ball called Mother Earth. So awareness is the step of the descent down to the south. The south is what they say the Andes, the second highest mountain range on our planet. The Andes carries the mother energy. That's ayahuasca and all the sacred plants that drug companies derive their medicine from is with the natural plants. And that's the descent. So first we have to go down and hit bottom, and we build from bedrock. This is the Mother Earth, Gaia. This is the drum. The drum is in the south. Now the flute is up in the north, which is air. So we go air, body to spirit, body to spirit. So my dad was a fire sign, and my uncle was a fire sign, and Ashley's a fire sign, and my wife's a fire sign. So there's a lot of fire, which is passion. So if we go over here to the ascent, once you descent, you got to go down, and then you start the journey back up, which is the springtime, the green down here. So I love these happiness. Ashley is Chinese. She's Tibetan, and we were talking about the dark goddess. They call her Kali. She has many names, but the green Tara is the one of great nurturing mother. I'll feed you, I'll give you everything you want, but don't try to rape me or treat me with respect. So respect is one of the lessons of the sacred pipe, that when I poured lodges, we used the symbol of the pipe, which is your left side and your right side. The stem is the male and the bowl is the female. And the Lakota pipe is usually made of pipestone, but down where I'm from they had antler pipes and they had soapstone pipes. But it was a symbol. The pipe is one of the symbols of our left and right sides, of our magic and our logic in balance. So, like if you work the steps and do your inventory and quit taking everybody else's inventory and work on that Catholic process of confession, which is step 5 in recovery. Step 4 and 5 and 6 are the, they say the first 3 steps are face up, that the problem isn't outside of me, it's me. If there's a problem here, it's something, it's my attitude or the way I'm looking at things. So that's why gratitude is the purest form of prayer. So be grateful for what I have. I've got a store, I'm a drum maker, and I'm doing what I love to do. I love to create and learn simplicity. Like I always start when I had cut that circle out to make a hoop drum. Let's see, I thought I had one next to me. We've been making, anyway, let me stay with this. So we have happiness, passion, and expression. The ability to express in art and drum making, and my wife makes the most beautiful rattles. She just made this turtle shell rattle. Can't see it, but the turtle is Mother Earth. That's Gaia. That's the drum. The flute is Father Sky. So we come from body, and every night we fall asleep. So if we're living in the present, we give our presence, which is correlated with Christmas and the tree, the sacred tree, Christmas tree, and all the stories of Santa, and that's psilocybin, mushrooms. They're teacher plants. So all the hippies were going out picking mushrooms and getting stoned on mushrooms, tune in, tune out. But there are the natural plants like ayahuasca, iboga, kambu, all of the medicines from South America and from Mexico, Guatemala, all the South American, south of the border, so to speak. And it used to be the trade routes would go from Mexico City all the way to Canada. So those were trade routes. People would trade, just like the England did in the old days. They traded for things, spices and sugars and coffees and olives. So I've really enjoyed being out there, and Mandy built this, we both together designed this medicine wheel garden based on a trip I made back in 9/11. I was in Findhorn, Scotland, where they study plant intelligence. But So what's the last three? We have happiness, passion, and expression. So loving is expressing. Creating, what are you creating? It's a creator. We pray to the creator, the one who made us. And the creator doesn't make any junk. So some of us have pretty serious spiritual energies to our soul. Some of us have physical injuries, and some of us have emotional injuries, and some of us have spiritual injuries. So it's if you're childlike, you're happy. Like, become childlike, not childish. So when you're young, your values are a little different than when you're an elder like me. My brother's probably going into hospice. He's 2 years older than I am. And he's been an amazing man, and he's a pillar in the church down there. He's a Methodist. He's a Christian. And he's a retired colonel in the Army. He fought for our country and went 2 tours to Vietnam and exposed to all that, those chemicals over there. And he came back, and he's still kicking at 87, but his wife is saying he might have to need help now, because he's kind of in that transition of waiting to cross over. So to me, that's my mother. I was with my mother when she crossed over. Me and my brother Mike were there down in South Carolina. And so the last 3 steps are responsibility. In recovery, they say, when the hand reaches out, I am responsible, which means I am able to respond. That doesn't mean I will respond. It means I'm able to. So the 11th step is productivity. Like, it feels daggone good to be creative, like making art or making music or writing. I love to do that. I've got journals going all the way back to when I got sober. I did my sponsor told me to write out my 4th step, which is do a searching and fearless inventory of myself, and stay out of relationships for a year and work on your own hoop, so that you're not chasing love anymore. And then find something you love to do. And I did. And I didn't have any idea that it would work, like me making drums. But I was in my head. I was using my wits to survive rather than my hands. So they say lend a hand. That's being responsible. And the last step is being present. That's it's the presence, like Christmas in the North. We give our presents to each other. So that's all I wanted to. Let's see, I'm going to stop the share now and come back to me. Okay, it's 7:10, and I don't see anybody but me, so I'll just keep right on going till I get tired, and then I'll sign off. Let's see, I'm trying to go to full screen here. Just a minute. Okay, there we go. So getting the lighting right, like having this couch here facing north, So to my left would be the west, which is the fall. To my right is the spring. So, what are the gifts of the east? The east direction is in Tai Chi. You say every night our chi goes away, so we have to hook up. That's what they say in recovery too. It says yesterday's spirituality doesn't work today. So you have to get up and say, thank you for another day. Thank you. So that's the gifts of the East, or the gifts of a child. Becoming childlike, not childish. If we've been abused, well, we're all from the Scar clan. I don't know anyone that hasn't been abused in some way. So I'm an addict. That's my tendency, is all or nothing. So for me to slow down at my age, because I still think like I'm young. Like, so don't get into I can't. Say I won't. So being responsible for staying in my own hoop. Said I am Patrick, and in my circles I would pass the talking stick or the feather or whatever we're using as a symbol, and then I am Patrick, and everyone would say, you are Patrick, and we'd pass the stick and they'd say, I am Mandy, and you are Mandy. So we're reflecting back to you who you are. That's the yang is the speaking, the yin is the listening. So I hear you. Well, I used to have this exercise in my circles where I would have people break up, and one of you ask, who are you? Beneath all the veneer and what you do and all that, who are you? And you'd spend about 5 minutes, and then you'd reverse the roles, and the one that was answering the question is now asking that question, who are you? Beneath all the, oh, I'm a drum maker, I'm a cook, I'm a bottle washer, I'm a janitor, I'm a retail guy, I'm a salesman, I'm a king, I'm a warrior, I'm a magician, I'm a lover. Those are the archetypes of the male. And if I heal that little kid in me and take care of myself, I feel pretty good. Good's not a feeling. I feel happy. But I also know how to go through the hard times. The spring is, the weather has been beautiful here. The sun's been out. It doesn't seem like winter. I don't think about what tomorrow's going to do. I don't listen to the weather forecast. I get up and go outside and sit in that water. And that's John the Baptist. I was raised Baptist. My grandma was a Baptist, Southern Baptist. And my uncle was a Southern Baptist preacher, and he had a church in Nashville, Tennessee. So my parents and my uncle were amazing men. They're both fire signs, and they both were very successful. If you look at success as making a lot of money, and so I think money is having enough, and I'm grateful that I have enough. It used to be I'd write a check and hope it didn't bounce, but I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I'm still doing what I love to do. And when you're doing what you love to do, it's not work. It's being productive. and I like to be productive, but also my sweet wife has taught me how to, and women have taught me about the plant world and how to take care of a plant and keep a plant alive. And so when Mandy goes over to London to see her grandkids and spend time there, I miss her. I wish she was here more, and that's one of the questions I'll ask her is how, because I'd like to plan my life around her because she's an amazing woman. And I see creating a model that can be duplicated all over the world. It's other than capitalism, going from competition into the tribal way, or the non-profit. The churches do it. The churches, I was raised Christian. I still love the teachings of Jesus. I read the Bible. I've read the Old Testament. I've read the New Testament. I've read the Nag Hammadi libraries and the Essenes, and I've studied shamanism. I've done many plant spirits, and I've gradually come from somebody that's allergic to plants to somebody that's embracing that aspect of me, which is not only learning how to speak, but how to listen. And that's the holy part of communication. So after these, I was talking a few minutes ago about having people come back to the circle once they'd interviewed each other, and they introduce each other. They don't introduce themselves. Like, I'd like to introduce this group to Mandy. She can work circles around me. She's creative. She's amazing. She's taught me how to keep plants alive. She knows the birds. She knows the earth. She's an artist. She's a mother that's taking care of her family. And I'm part of her family, so she's over here, and I'm grateful when she's here, and I'm loyal. Because I'm loyal to myself, basically, because you can't be loyal to another until you to thine own self be true. And so I like to learn things. And when I'm making drums, sometimes I'm listening to music. I like jazz. I like all kinds of music. But I like to play the piano too, and I like to play the baritone ukulele. And when you're happy, you're singing and you're dancing. So I can still do that and playing. Like, got my ping pong table set up back behind me at this chair, and we're changing this room around because the spring is the time for house cleaning out the cobwebs for winter, and beginning again. It's the green man, it's the cocopelli, it's the flute, it's the father, it's the lynx. If you look at the spirit animals of the west direction, it's the bear. My store was blessed by a Martin High Bear, a Teton Sioux elder, medicine man, that blessed my store when I had it over on Sandy Boulevard on 28th Street. And I started here in this house because it was zoned commercial downstairs. There was a locksmith down there, and somebody installed, the guy I bought this house from was installed tile, and he had a tile shop down here, and there was racks everywhere with tile on them. So when I bought this house, I came down here with a hammer and said, I'm going to clean this place out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm gonna start something. So it's like when you get into action, it's amazing what unfolds. That's the 5 lessons of volition, which I go over. There'll be 7 classes in this session. So volition is 5 steps. Volition. And I teach that, and it's in this book, The Sacred Tree. So this is a book that I really recommend for this class that you get. You don't have to get it from me, but I do sell it in my store. The other book is Living in Gratitude, and that's a beautiful book. Every day I say, thank you for another day. Thank you for enough to eat today. Thank you for good friends that come over and help me when I don't know what to do with this technology stuff. I much prefer to be in a circle. I've also had to learn how to share from the heart. I've given a lot of AA talks. They invited me back for some celebration they had. They paid my way back to give a talk at Huntington at the clubhouse there where I got sober. And I got a brother back there, Mark. He's about the only one left of my dad's children, with his second wife. I think it was his second wife. My mother was his first wife. So I had to learn to love both my mother and my father, and they died differently. They went home differently. And I'm at that point where I'm at the 4th ridge of life, which is the elders. And then it's about time for my bedtime around 7:30 to 8 is when I like to go to bed and relax and gradually fall asleep. And if you're all stressed out, it's hard to relax. But the natives say when you relax, spirit comes in. So there's what I have planned in recovery. They say there's 3 talks you always make. It's the one you plan, the one you make, and the one you wish you'd make. If you're doing improv, there's no reruns. You can't run it back, although I will run this on my website. I think it's important that creating these drums, rattles and flutes, and Cedar Mountain drums. I've taught lots and lots of people to make drums. That we need more drums, more vibration, because we are vibration. We're being and vibration. That was a great book, by the way. Joseph Raoul. It's being and vibration. Since they had sound chambers and the sound of a Gregorian chant or the throat singers singing. My dad loved to sing. He's always either humming, whistling, or singing. And I was a good whistler too. I could talk like a duck, still can. But since I lost all my teeth, and now I've got implants. And I just finished a drum for a dentist, a really sweet gal. And she's going to come pick it up, and I'm going to try to trade her for getting my choppers back working where I can eat. But the teeth represent discernment, breaking things down. Like if you go to a class, you'll hear things, and then you absorb it, you chew on them first. That's called processing. My processor They call those computers processors. Well, the teeth in therapy is, I'm going to chew on that for a while. And some people spend their life chewing on things, but they don't ever swallow. Got it broken down. And when you're old like me and Bernie Sanders, you eat some soup and a salad, and that's going to satisfy you, because you don't eat a lot of food. You stay right size. You take care of mind, body, spirit, and soul. So the soul is more of the shamanic path. That's the left side. It's the feminine, and it's the opposite. So when I played with ping pong, we've got 2 or 3 tables, 3/4 size, and we don't hit the ball away from each other, we hit it to each other. We began, one of my teachers that taught me how to play, he says, "What are you going to do when you kill the ball? Eat it?" He says it takes a lot more skill to hit the ball right in front of somebody than hit it where they can't hit it. So you got to give attention. That's paying attention. That's giving your presence. So volition, the 5 steps of volition are intention, attention. That's the first step. So what are you tending to? And if you're tending to what you hold sacred, starting with yourself, then that's the 12 steps that helps me deflate the false pride and come down and shift into what's real and authentic. And I'm a writer. My brother can't spell, never could spell, but I learned a lot better how to spell out things phonetically, and then how to sing, how to play improv. That's our drum circles. When I used to do drum circles every Wednesday, we'd have men's circles and women's circles, mixed circles, and shamanic journeying circles. And all the drums we used are the ones I'd made, and I rented them out. I love drums, and introducing drum and drumming to people all over the world. And I'm sure each one of you have touched a lot of other people's lives. And that Chicana I was looking at, it's beginning. So the first step is presence, is intention, attention. So what are you tending? What are you giving your attention to? Is to a screen that kind of pulls your energy. It's a suck. So I look at my screen time and how much I'm actually creating, whether it's writing or shopping, cooking, taking care of mind, body, spirit, and soul. And me being a water sign, I'm double Scorpio, rising and sun sign. And I have a little Capricorn getting to the top, or going around the circle and really realizing that's the nighttime. That's the dream time, the north. The north direction is air, the horse, the buffalo, the white buffalo calf woman, the woman that brought the pipe to the people and told them the 7 laws or lessons that you learn. Good health, happiness, helping out people, being able to lend a hand, generosity, respect, compassion, and respect for the generations, the different ridges of life, like the little ones, the teenagers, the preteens. That's that cycle of the East is the child. Every morning we wake up. Do we wake up with yesterday? So I've learned to do the dishes and make my coffee before I go to bed. Just having tools that work, and I can make coffee even if I don't have all those tools, because coffee's good stuff. It's an herb. Cannabis is an herb. They're natural plants until they're altered by people and make them stronger. And it's natural. I think being happy, singing, dancing, but also able to go through the hard times where I've been pretty far down, not knowing if I wanted to live or not. And I've also been pretty far up. I've seen things that not many people have. And I'm grateful for that. So, promises of recovery, of working those 12 steps, walking that red road, means to complete your own hoop. The Cherokees had a 7-sided drum, so the 7 sides, 7 directions, 7 days of the week. The numerology, all the magical and the logical, the trickery, the ability to see through complex situations. That's genius. Be able to be childlike. Have volition, which means after attention, the second step is goal setting. Like with me in drum making, I'll say I've got a drum out there soaking in my hot tub because the man bought one of my buffalo drums, and he lived down in California, and then he moved out to Bend, Oregon, where it's a desert, dry climate, and rawhide skin constricts when it's too hot. Like if we go to the desert, you have to take water. That's dry, hot and dry makes my skin tight. Water relaxes it. So I used to do shows down in the desert, and my drums would get so tight I'd come back home and they were warped. And so thank God they didn't, some of them split. So if it gets too tight, it'll split the head or crush the rim. But being Cedar Mountain drums, I prefer using cedar. It's just what the natives out here smudge with. The red cedar, the white cedar, incense cedar, deodar cedar. There's all kinds of different cedar trees. But that's the Western way, is to put it in a category. But a tree is poetry in motion, because its branches reach up to a home for the birds, a home for the bugs, the woodpeckers, the squirrels, all the creatures of the forest. And to have old growth is like a cathedral, like a church. Nature is God's sanctuary. So being outside, that's what the animals do. They don't bury their dead in a coffin in the mausoleum like my dad and his wife, my stepmom, are buried in a mausoleum, put in this very expensive cabinet or coffin. But meeting some of the natives out here, they say, hell, us Indians just throw the body in the ground and cover it up and let the bugs take it back to earth. Ash to ash, dust to dust. It's like, but we live a long time if we're happy and if we're taking care of ourselves in those 4 ways: mind, body, spirit, and soul. So I've got this, I didn't even think about whether you can hear me or not. And having this technology working, like having a mic. I forget to put my mic on, and to test my. But I'm learning. You're never too old to learn something new. I know how to play. Let's see, it's what time is it? It is 7:30. Okay. Well, we have 30 minutes or so to go, and I'm just so happy to have Mandy here. It's like I lost. That's a great. My younger brother died, and my cousin died. So there's a lot of people crossing over, and I was in New Grange over in Ireland back at 9/11 when I went to Scotland early, because I was supposed to go with this group I met in church. Actually, as part of trying to promote the Austrian drummer Reinhard Flaschler, who's a dear friend of mine from Vienna, that developed this process of learning rhythm through movement. It's called takatina. And I think I had a drum store because I was so out of rhythm. And I learned more from Arthur Hall and who's called the father of the drum circle, and that Reinhard Flaschler and his then lovely wife Cornelia Jecklin, who were dear friends of mine. They took me down to Esalen, where I only dreamed of coming when I was in grad school in West Virginia, because that was Michael Murphy and his family started Esalen, and it's they had workshops down there of some of the great teachers in the world, like Fritz Perls, and Aldous Huxley, and Bucky Fuller. Some of the leading thinkers of what I wanted to do was to learn transpersonal psychology and the connection between recovery and play. Because learning how to juggle. Because control freaks have a hard time juggling. So I had to learn to juggle. I was a clown. I was a mime. Part of our play, 500 hours of play, was becoming a mime, going out in the streets of San Francisco and doing this thing. if you get in front of somebody and just mirror their movements. The teachings of the West class have to do with the mirror. We have to hold the mirror up and look at ourselves and say, how you like that guy? That's but we're in the green man territory this spring, and February is a beautiful time. It's a lot of love, deer drums. So I've been making deer drums, and Mandy's been making deer rattles, and working with deer. The deer hunt. I've never shot a deer, but we have deer out at Bear Creek, and bear. We had bear come onto our land, and cats. There's mountain lions out there, so it's really where I bought this land. It's wild. It's nature, and I've loved it. It's been such a haven for me, and sharing it with my friends, and having a place where we can teach how to make things with our hands. That's part of the creating process. So I do that, and then I pray. My life is a prayer. That's the sky. That's male. That's what's ahead of me. Who am I? Where am I going? So the second step of volition is, first is attention. The second is goal setting. Third step is initiating action. Say, I think I'll make a drum today. So I have to begin, which great fire signs are great beginners. But the next step is called perseverance. And the water, the running water, teaches us flow, teaches us let go. I went to this New Thought church. I raised money for them, and I joined the church because I had so much anger at the church that I was raised in. I was blaming them for all my problems. I realized there are spiritual people everywhere, and I can look at the beast, I can look at the beauty. So I prefer to look for the beauty, keep my eye on gratitude. Thank you for another day. Thank you for the breath of life. So I'm grateful I have enough. I have more than enough. I can share what I have and give it away, like trading. The way capitalism works, it doesn't work. It's like you can't keep raising prices forever and making the rich richer and the poor poorer, because it's way out of balance now. And golf's a great game. Michael Murphy, founder of Esalen, wrote this book called Golf in the Kingdom, and it's about the origins of golf. It's St. Andrews, Scotland. It's Scottish. The Scottish were the first golfers, and they didn't use all these pesticides to make a perfect golf course, manicured. He played in the heather. You played the ball as it laid. And but what I learned in golf is to look where I want the ball to go, not where I don't want it to go. So there's that has to do with the 4 addictions that I learned from another woman, Angela Sarian, that wrote this book called The Fourfold Way. And I read Robert Bly's King, Magician, Warrior, Lover, The Wild Man, and The Wild Woman. The part of us that can't be domesticated, that's wild. That's the beast, so to speak. The beast and the beauty. But the gratitude is prayer, singing, the Christmas carols, joy to the world. I love Christmas carols. Oh, come all ye faithful, all those beautiful songs. All the West. Anyway, at New Grange, they say that all the people died on that cycle of the year that ends on the winter solstice. It's the shortest day, and that's when all the light returns. It's gone from the darkest back to moving towards the light. So we're moving towards spring. So we got March, the odds of March, and March is basketball season, golf season, April. So competition. But I say drum circles. I had a teacher say, if you can only hear your own drum, you're drumming too loud. So you got the ego drummers that think they're the best. The way I do my drum circles for years, I'd say, if you can only hear your own drum, you're drumming too damn loud. So just learn how to play. But also learn how to just be in the vibrations. That's one of Reinhardt's great things. He'd have you moving in a circle, and your feet are moving to the sound of a drum that's in the center of the circle, and everybody's moving together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, back and forward. And then he introduces the clap. So you clap, and then you speak on the. So he introduces these three things, saying you are a drum. And what happens when you fall out of rhythm? 'Cause I fall out of rhythm all day. Sometimes I'm stressed out. So what do when I'm too hot? Cool off. Relax. And I learn how to tend to my body. The south is the body. Casey was rubbing my back, getting touch, getting hugs. Arms are for hugging. And drumming together is singing the flesh on the bones. The many stories about the drummers originally were women, because we spend 9 months in Mama's belly, usually when we're coming from spirit into form. So the waters is where we begin our journey, and then we're thrust out into this world from a safe place where we're connected with the spirits. Michael Meade says when we come out of Mama's vagina that our destiny is printed on our heads, our crown chakra. Fate and destiny. So fate's what happens to you. Destiny is where you're predestined. Whoever dreams you. We have to dream the next 7 generations. So somebody dreamed me 7 generations ago. So the native way is to not look for the immediate gratification, but learn how to withhold. It's called patience, prudence. Used to be a great team called Patience and Prudence. They sang back when I was in my 20s, 15, in my teens or 20s. Of course, when I graduated from military school in 1958, a high school, and I was 16 years old when I graduated. And everybody else was a year older than me. So I was raised to be a warrior. My brother was the warrior. None of us get out of this alive, and losing people, let's say I lost them, but they just went home, back to the happy hunting ground, because you die like you live. If you live a good life, death is no big deal. I've got an end-of-life directive. Been working with some attorneys to get all my assets in a structure that can leave the people I love what I have, and not only my family, but my extended family, the people that I care about, friends. I've got lots of friends all over the world, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to shift from drum maker to teacher, elder. I don't spend a lot of time on social media, but I do learn the things that are really hard for me to learn in allopathic medicine, psychiatry, and seems like the difference between an MSW and an MA, which I am, an MA, Master of the Arts, or Master of the Science. Time is art, is the native way. Time is money, is the capitalistic way. So, how you spending your time, your talent, your treasure, it's important to know. Look at your checkbook if you want to know what you value. So it's 7:53. It's close enough to 8 o'clock. I'd like to thank everybody that's going to see this video. I hope that maybe something I shared made sense to you. We'll be doing this class for 7 weeks. It's on my website. I had Ashley fix it up for me. She'll be here next week. Hopefully we might have some other people join us. But anyway, I'm grateful that Mandy's here and I can rest a little bit. But still, take care of myself when she's here or when she's not here. Do the best I can and be grateful for every day I have. And I usually make a prayer. I smudge myself. So the smudge is the cedar. The books I sell, Braiding Sweetgrass. That's a beautiful book. I recommend it. Sweetgrass is the sweet hair of our Mother Earth. When we burn the sweetgrass, we call in spirit. When we burn the sage, we remove the negative. But then if you just remove the negative, you also have to call in the positive. Because if you don't call in the positive, it'll fill with fear. I let go of fear. I call in love, loving, caring, happy, not being so attached to the material world, but being grateful that I have enough to eat today, enough to share with you. And to share what I have is the only reason for having anything, is to share it and do the best I can. I'm grateful for Casey and Mandy and everybody in my life and everybody that's going to see this. I offer my thanks and thank you for supporting Cedar Mountain Drums and Heartspace. Working on the Heartspace Foundation, which is a 501c3 or 4 or whatever it is, can receive your donations to help duplicate the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical all into one. Prayer, friendships, touch, and caring, self-care. So thank you so much for joining me, and I wish that everyone have good health, long life, happiness, courage, compassion, lightness, and balance, walking in balance. I bless you. I hope to see you next week. And we're going to end the meeting